Hey everybody, Mike Lowe here, SimSportsGaming.com, bringing you episode 5 of our NFL Head Coach '09 stream. And we are going to be, it's a really exciting episode because we're going to be getting into the NFL draft very, very shortly. I left one little task to be done as kind of a group here. I went through and did all the actual school visit, the actual campus visits, where we were able to visit an X number of players per college that we were able to visit. But we have a very important step that is still left, and that is going to be the individual workouts. We get 7 or 8 of these total. Obviously, we'll want to try to target some people we are really, really considering in the first round, possibly maybe if we traded back and had a second round or something like that. But these really should be used on kind of our top tier picks here. But again, thanks for tuning in here. Just going to pull up a couple things here, make sure I have the YouTube chat going if there's questions and comments. And again, that's something I definitely encourage here in this particular stream, is that if you do have a vote or you want to say, please do. That's kind of the whole idea here, is this is sort of a groupthink activity as we try and rebuild the 2008 Oakland Raiders here and try to save Jamarcus Russell's career as he enters into his second year here. So that's what we're doing. Just give me a quick moment here. Okay, got YouTube up there. Okay, cool. So, yeah, like I said, let's jump on into it. By the way, if you want to find more streams like this, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button, and it should ping you when I'm streaming, whether it's MLB The Show or Head Coach like this, NCAA 14. We do a lot of vintage stuff. We're getting some other people involved with this particular channel too, so it won't just be me every time. And if you want to follow me in particular, Mike Lowe 47 is my Twitter. And SimSports Gaming also has their Twitter that I'm sure you can find just by searching for that name there. So here we go. This is the draft. Now again, I'm sure a lot of you have played Madden, and Madden's actually, I mean, for all the kind of criticism Madden gets, I would say the draft's actually one of its best strengths. It's pretty fun. That doesn't mean everything around the draft I feel is a strength. I don't really feel scouting is done very well in this game. I think it's done much better in this game, but same thing. I think this draft is really, really well done. You're going to see some cool options, and at the same time, it doesn't take a tremendous amount of time here. But these individual workouts will be important because, as you can see on the clipboard there, we only get a handful of them. I think it's 7 or 8, and this is the one activity that will unlock a player's potential grade, right? So if I were just kind of jump in, and they keep talking about how, you know, the best player is actually Darren McFadden. We've already determined on previous episodes that he's not really a guy that we're looking at picking. Oops, I can't look at his profile there. So let's just go and we'll look at Darren McFadden here. So a lot of the little updates and stuff that I'm seeing in the game, what's up, Daniel, is that Darren McFadden seems to be the best player in this draft. But one of the things we don't have there on the left under his grades is potential. We don't get to see it. He is also not fully scouted. He's only at 79. But the next range up from that is like 92, which we have some 92 people, I'm sure. But even then, like if we were to scout someone who's 66, I think we'd actually unlock them all the way to 100. Same thing here. If we scouted Cedric Ellis, it would unlock him to 100. So really, the first task that we have to talk about here is how do we want to use these? And again, I forget if it's 7 or 8. I know it's 7 or 8 for sure. But how many of these, or where do we want to use these at, right? And again, you know, why don't we back out? We can take a very quick look at the Raiders roster in case we have some people who are new here. Again, this is the NFL Head Coach '09. So this is the 2008. We're redoing the offseason. Jamarcus Russell, we're looking at overalls, maybe potential over here, right? We are rolling with Jamarcus Russell, so I'm really not looking at picking a quarterback. I think we've talked that to death already. We actually have a couple good options here. So now if we switch over to running back, Justin Fargas is not bad. We know he has some durability issues, so picking up a running back would be a nice idea, but I'm definitely of that school of thought that says you don't really need to be picking a running back in probably the first 2 rounds. You can definitely find someone a little bit later. One of those guys that we had talked about was Jamal Charles, who'd probably be there in the 3rd round. The problem is we don't have a 3rd round pick. We have the number 4 overall pick, then we don't pick again until the 4th round. And then I think we don't have a 5th or something like that. We don't have a ton of draft picks. The Raiders kind of butchered their 2008 draft here. So again, running back is an option. Probably wouldn't be till later. I think we've established we like Michael Bush as a power back. I think Fargas can be a nice outside runner, but he's not an every down back. Lamont Jordan is 50-50. He's going to make the team with this huge cap hit. He's probably our next cap casualty if we need some money, but he's a decent receiving back. Another option we actually have is our backup fullback, who's a pretty good receiver, Justin Griffith. So again, we have some guys. We could roll with these guys if we wanted to, but I do think grabbing a young running back would be a good idea. Now, receiver, we satisfy one of our owner goals by kind of getting an 85 or higher receiver. He's a veteran, Isaac Bruce, but this is something the Raiders have done in real life multiple times. They brought in Jerry Rice, back in the Rich Gannon days, and it's kind of a similar thing here because we have two guys. We have Ronald Curry, again, who's kind of a depth guy, might start the season as our starter, but these two guys are interesting, right? Higgins and McFoy. They both have some really nice potential, but they both have not played very much. Again, if we go to their productivity score, that kind of shows you like their statistics that they've racked up for the previous year or maybe years, I'm not sure, but I know it's for sure last year. You can see not a whole lot there. So potential looks great, but we just can't rely on these guys, especially when we're really trying to put Jamarcus Russell in the best position to try and win. So Isaac Bruce was brought in. So again, a receiver, certainly. It could be a position because Isaac Bruce is going to be gone. Let's just say we're lucky and one of these guys pan out. I mean, we're still going to need a receiver. So I think receiver is certainly possible, and we definitely saw, was it Harry Douglas, or we saw somebody that we really, really liked in the draft. Zach Miller, we're totally good at tight end. We might grab one later. But again, Zach Miller looks, just to kind of show you him really quick, potential 90. He's only in his second year, just 21. We're good there. Flozell Adams, very similar to our wide receiver situation where we signed kind of a one-year stopgap. I like Mario Henderson's potential. We got to see if he's going to fill it out or not. And again, this kind of buys us a little time to sort that out. So left tackle, maybe. It's not as pressing as it was before free agency, though. Left guard, again, probably okay there. I definitely don't want to be taking a guard early. It's kind of a similar situation to running back for me, probably even more so with running backs, though. But I'd rather probably pick a guard earlier than a running back. But so center, we signed Jeff Fain. Again, we're going to be really, really nice at center. Also, another reason to be patient with guard is that we have Jake Grove here who could probably slide over and play some guard. So pretty good depth on the interior. Again, owner goal here, we signed a right guard who looks pretty promising, and we have decent depth. So again, interior line, I think we're really, really set now. And we have some really nice right tackles. So we've really done a nice job this offseason getting this offensive line ready. Again, left tackle, maybe, because it's such an important position. And Flozell Adams, I'm assuming, probably isn't going to be sticking around very long. But we don't need to reach for it, that's for sure. Defensive end, we have Derek Burgess, an 83 with 83 potential, but he's 29. A 23-year-old Jay Richardson, who's 84. So again, could we get an end? I mean, we only literally have two guys on the roster. So yes, end is definitely in play. 3 years left for Richardson. He looks like he'll be around for a little while, but just 2 years left with Burgess. So again, maybe if we get someone in, he could be a cap casualty, maybe a guy we end up trading after this year. It's nice to have 3 ends that you can rotate for sure. So I think defensive end is definitely in play. We have 3 defensive tackles currently on the roster. And again, I skipped over a lot of these expensive free agents because I wanted to see what the draft looks like. I didn't want to tie up our cap too much. You can always sign guys afterwards. So we have 3 tackles. They're all pretty good. They're all signed for long term. None of them are extremely old or anything. Gerard Warren, 29. But again, could we get a defensive tackle? Maybe. It's certainly not a huge priority, though. We play a lot of nickel, so my left outside linebacker, I'm not super concerned. We have a couple guys here that can probably hold down the job. If we have a really, really nice left outside linebacker that falls in our lap, sure, right? Middle linebacker, we're pretty set. Maybe we could upgrade our depth here. But again, Kirk Morrison looks really, really nice. But similar to our defensive ends, it wouldn't hurt if we saw a nice middle linebacker because what's going to happen here, he'll be 28 when his contract's up. He's going to probably want a lot of money. We're probably not going to want to re-sign him. So again, same thing, right? If middle linebacker falls, sure, we can probably grab one. Thomas Howard, just 24 years old, probably would re-sign him. So I think we're pretty set at right outside linebacker. Corner, we have a lot of depth here, which is really nice. We did make a trade. I think we did that on the last stream. Picked up a couple extra 6th and 7th. So we have actually kind of a plethora of late picks in this draft. Maybe we use those to try and move up a little bit if need be. Maybe even try to package some of those to move up into those like mid to early rounds, like an extra 3rd or something like that. Because again, Jamal Charles would be great, but we don't have a 3rd round pick. So D'Angelo Hall, Asamoah. We have Washington, Rote and Bowie, I guess. So these are the 5 corners. We're pretty good at corner. And again, I don't even, with these long contracts, I just can't see us really picking a corner, even though there's some corners I really like in this draft. Michael Huff, again, pretty darn good here for the next few years at free safety. We even have some nice depth here with Hiram Eugene, who is on the trade block. So we have some options there. Strong safety, again, could we upgrade? Sure, especially because his cap hit's so low. But it's not a complete need. So as we talked about in the very, very beginning, of course, Janikowski, a really, really great kicker. Shane Lechler, a really great punter. As we talked about in the beginning, we wanted to position this team in the offseason where we didn't have to draft anything. We could pretty much just look and say, hey, this guy looks like he'd fit our system. He's maybe the best player available or up in that mix. This is the guy we want to take. We don't want to have to reach and stretch and take some players. We do need some depth in a few areas. But again, there's nothing that's like, oh my gosh, this is a complete pressing need. So I'm just giving the chat a quick look here. Yeah, right, Delonte, pretty similar to the Washington's picks there is what we have. So we have a really early first, and then we kind of skip a ways, and you can see we have a fourth. We have a few 6 and 2 7. So 2 7s, 2 6, the fourth, and a first. Like, I mean, it would be great to like package 2 or 3 of these and try to get up in the fourth again or something like that. So we'll see. Again, I'm truthfully leaning towards dropping back in the fourth because as we go look, I don't think we're going to see anything that's just like that necessary. If we needed a quarterback, maybe we could sit at 4 and see if Matt Ryan fell or something like that, but we just don't. And I really don't know if there's a player here that I want to take fourth. Again, there were some corners I liked, but we just don't need them, right? So I really, really want to try and trade down if we can. What's up, Jake? So let's see, how much cap did we start with and spend? And so we started with just over 30 million. Our current cap space, it is, let's see, where's it at? Cap space, salary cap status. So we have about 6 million left. And again, we definitely have, and I don't know if this like makes you kind of save money for rookies. I'm not really sure. I mean, we'll see after the draft because we have to sign those guys. And we have some holes. Like you saw, we only have 2 defensive ends. So we really need to try and grab an end, even if it's like in the 6th and 7th round. I mean, we need to get somebody in there for depth. But again, it's not a complete pressing need. We have 3 really good tackles, one of which can definitely be used for even defensive end depth. So yeah, so that's kind of what's happening there. Now let's go look, because again, we're going to have to schedule these individual workouts, and we got to get moving quickly. I might have to reload it here, but that's okay. So as we go position by position, we said again, quarterback. So again, before we even look at these, right, we're looking at either the 4th overall pick or trading back. We have no idea what we'd be trading back to, and really until we're on the clock, which to me is really the best time to be shopping a pick is when you are on the clock. So again, there was one quarterback we looked at that we really liked. Well, there's 2 actually, right? There's Andre Woodson, who just seems to have some decent potential. His overall rating seems to have gone up too, because wasn't he like in the 30s before? And again, these ratings aren't like what you think of as traditional overall ratings like with Madden. This is just kind of like on the rookie scale. I think they're all kind of scaled against one another. But they kept talking about him in some of the little news updates. You can see one of his strengths is potential. The only thing is he doesn't really have any speed, and it's kind of what we're looking for. He's not really going to be a fit. Not to mention, obviously, we already have a young quarterback we're working on. I think the other quarterback we were looking at was from the University of San Diego, Josh Johnson. And this guy really would fit some of the offense I'm looking to do, which is kind of like a spread attack, and almost like a spread option attack in a way, but kind of a hybrid. So we've used the New Orleans Saints playbook, but we've added in some kind of Ohio State sort of setup as far as working in some QB options and things like that. So Josh Johnson, again, athleticism, he's a playmaker. And then check out his elusiveness was 92 and his speed is 92. 86 acceleration, 84 agility. Still got a really good arm. 92 throw power, but again, accuracy leaves a little to be desired there. So his NFL comparison is the old Vince Young, which is a really, really good thing. So definitely a guy, and he might be, so with our 4th round pick, he might be available. But again, do we need a project quarterback with this team? We have Jamarcus Russell already. So again, quarterback, not a huge pressing need. Running back, they keep talking about how great Darren McFadden is, but we really don't like this guy because of his character, ball security, and hands. Like those are 3 strikes for me for sure. All 3 of those things are important for me. I love his NFL comparison. And again, don't get me wrong, if he fell to the 2nd round or something, we'd go and grab him. But as much as he looks like a good player, I just don't really think we need to be picking a running back 4th overall. Much rather trade down, and maybe he falls. Maybe we trade to 12 or 13 and he's still sitting there, and then maybe we consider it. We talked about Chris Johnson, again, just kind of this explosive speed, 99 speed, 99 acceleration, but he doesn't have great vision, or what was it? There was something, one of these ratings was kind of sketchy. What the heck was it now? I forget. Well, his durability is an issue, but I thought we saw something of his that led us to believe we weren't really thrilled with him. But Felix Jones, I think it said he's got pretty decent hands or something like that. Yeah, so hands, he's explosive. So again, there's some decent running backs. But I think we were also looking at Jamaal Charles. We really like that big play ability. Also got really, really nice speed. He's got a nice personality, it looks like. He's healthy for the most part. So again, he would probably be a 3rd round pick is my guess. So right now we'd have some work to do. We also like Tashard Choice. So I think Jalen Parmalee we talked about liking. Xavier Omen we talked about as a receiver. Deuce McAllister comparison, but he was pretty slow. Yeah, just 84 speed. So we're not looking at fullback. There was a receiver I know a lot of us really, really liked. And I'm trying to remember who. I think it was Donnie Avery. 100 speed. I think some of you were freaking out in the last stream. So again, he's a guy we could look at. Not number 4 overall, but he's probably going to be a 1st round pick. Potentially, if not a very early 2nd round pick. So he's a guy that, again, would be a really good fit for us. His negatives are a little scary, though. Bad hands, bad route running, can't catch in traffic. So no matter how athletic you are, I mean, you got to catch the ball. There were some other receivers. We looked at Eddie Royal, Deshaun Jackson, and Dexter Jackson. I think Harry Douglas. So Caldwell, Manningham looked decent. So there's some other ones there. We're not worried about tight end. And you can see we really liked Ryan Clady and Chris Williams. I think we actually like Chris Williams more. Again, those guys would definitely be there at number 4, but probably too early. We're not too worried about interior linemen. There is Brandon Albert. Looks like just an outstanding player. But again, interior linemen going that early. Centers are pretty underwhelming. They're probably going to get picked to the late 2nd round or so. Right guard, got one pretty good guard, it looks like. And then it starts to drop off a little bit. And our right tackle, we're okay at right tackle, but there are a couple good ones up there at the top. Defensive end, maybe this is a direction we look to go, even though they might not really be starting in the beginning. We did take a close look at Derek Harvey. Lawrence Jackson is there as well. At right end, you have Howie Long's son, Chris Long, but he's more of like a power rush guy. He doesn't have a lot of speed. He's just very, very strong. And again, there's some other guys here. We really liked Calais Campbell. He was one of those guys who had no weaknesses, just kind of an interesting thing. I don't know if that really translates, but that's really, he's probably a guy I'd like to bring in just to see, like, if his potential is like through the roof. Like, wow, he could be a guy we could probably grab towards the end of the 1st and probably even into the 2nd. There was a defensive tackle like that too, Cedric Ellis. Again, no weaknesses. His NFL comparisons, Kevin Williams, who is a great player. So I think right off the bat, I definitely want to bring in Cedric Ellis, and I want to bring in Calais Campbell, because they could be fits for us for sure. Gerard Mayo, again, we need a left outside linebacker, but just not super bad because it's really more of like a 2-down player. Middle linebacker, we actually like Tavares Gooden. So again, a guy would probably be there in the 3rd round. So I'd maybe add him to the list. Maybe he's number 3, and I'd put Jamaal Charles maybe number 4. Maybe Josh Johnson number 5. So I'd say we probably have 5 guys that I have in mind for taking a closer look at. Not all of these guys are towards the top, but again, this guy would be a nice fit for us. Really nice speed. I just like him. I like Philip Wheeler too. But again, I would probably just try to stick to guys who are at least like up in the 70s or so, such as Josh Johnson, who just looks really freakish. Vernon Golston, I think, is a guy we could definitely look at, because I think we could probably move him to end with his size. So I think he'd be a good fit. Keith Rivers, again, really, really nice. It's too bad we didn't have a need for that, because he'd be another nice player. Again, there's some really good corners, but it's just not a huge need for us. We have a lot of money tied up in our corners. We couldn't really cut them if we tried. Free safety, not a whole lot there. And I would like to take a look at Kenny Phillips because I do think he looks pretty promising. I love that big play ability. When you see that with like running backs and receivers and even quarterbacks and maybe safeties, I mean that's exciting. I mean, this is guys who could potentially create turnovers. So anyway, if you have other names that you would like to see, I think it's Jamarcus Russell. Daniel is our quarterback. So I definitely have some guys that we could go grab. So let's do that really quick.
Who would you like to bring in for an individual workout?
First guy, and I'm just going to go in order here. It doesn't really matter. But let's take a look at Josh Johnson. I just want to see what his potential is. We already saw the scouting results. So now, we should see Josh Johnson's potential. He's 100% scouted. He's got a potential of 93. Holy crap. With 92 speed. I mean, this is like this is kind of a priority for me at this point. 65 overall. I mean, hell, it's Jamarcus Russell. We give him a year to kind of sort things out, but I kind of want to grab Josh Johnson. I think we could probably get him with our 4th round pick. But again, like, what do we, Jamarcus Russell's going to cost a fortune if we try to move him. So, yeah, we'll have to see. But boy, his report came back quite nice. So eventually this is going to pop up some other free agent stuff, but I don't really think I want to sign anything else just yet.
Negotiations seemed to have broken down last night. It looked hopeless, but I just received word, unexpectedly, that an agreement was finalized at the last possible minute. Both sides conceded on key issues to get the deal done, preventing a huge loss for the Texans.
These are turning into like Heidi Watney updates at this point. They get really repetitive. All right, so individual workout number 2. These will go quick. Once we get through these.
Coach, who would you like the scouts to bring in?
Do we do Jamal Charles next, or should we jump over to the defense? Because Jamal Charles is kind of the guy. See, and again, I think we got to wait on him because we just don't have. I would still like to do a workout with him, but we don't have a pick. We don't have a 3rd round pick, which is where I really think he's going to end up going with that rating. So why don't we take a closer look at Donnie Avery, who really could be a 1st round pick for us. We really like this guy. Again, I'm just worried about. But see, the weird thing is, though, is his biggest negative is his hands. But he has 81 catching, and that's not bad. So to me, it does kind of say, like, maybe this guy just, his weaknesses are still not that bad. Like, he's just a really good overall player. Let's look at Donnie Avery, because I think he could be pretty darn special. So, moment of truth here. Donnie Avery. No, he went up. Potential of 96. Learning of 70. This guy looks pretty awesome. I almost kind of regret signing, what's his face now? Isaac Bruce, but I mean, this guy would come in and be our number 2. I mean, hell, if the young guys want to try and fight for a position, they'll have one next year. They'll have a position with Isaac Bruce gone. Damn, Donnie Avery looks... Again, guys, he has, 100 speed, was it? 100 speed. Acceleration 99. I mean, how far could we trade down and still get this guy? He's listed... I mean, he's tied for the best. He could go anywhere between the 1st, 2nd, or even 3rd receiver. Wow. Pretty special player. Yeah, Delonte, exactly. I think even a kind of a 2-quarterback system could even work, but we just got to see. I mean, if we stayed at pick 4, I actually think I might just take Donnie Avery at this point. I have no idea where he'll go. Right? I mean, let's go back to that mock draft and just see, like, where do they have the 1st receiver going? So he looks like he'd be there for us. Yeah, so we could. I mean, my goodness, they don't have a receiver going for a while. Oh my goodness. When did these receivers get picked? I mean, we could get him, if we had a 2nd round pick, he might be in play. Look at this. So yeah, he would go right around our pick if we had it. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness, that is just nuts. So that's something, if we do a trade, we really got to make sure we get a second back, right? We're going to skip on him. So continuing on, we've done 2 of these. I know we have about 5 or 6 of them left. Not looking to spend any money until after the draft. We just don't know what we're going to get yet. And I would sign an N right now. I'd love to get a third N, but even now, these guys are still costing, you know, they want 2-3 million or whatever. And it's just, I'm not going to spend that on a backup N. I had to turn the music off. I got a copyright violation. So now you can hear the beautiful rain in this game.
Who would you like to bring in for an individual workout?
Who should be, guys? I don't want to do too many at the same position. And obviously, if we end up taking Donnie Avery, we're not going to probably pick another receiver, at least not until maybe later in the draft. We really like Chris Williams, if you guys remember. He's got great learning, nice footwork, he's got really good size. He's 6'6", 315. Pass blocking of 84, which is actually pretty solid for a rookie. So I mean, maybe Chris Williams. We said no to the interior guys, no to right tackles. Oh yeah, we wanted to definitely take a look at Calais Campbell. So let's look at him. And we have everything else scouted on, so it's a bit of a waste. But to see that potential, I mean, let's really see if that no weakness thing is, there's some truth to it. And again, this is a guy we could definitely get later. Potential 93, looks good. Dang, I would love to just trade this pick for like 2 or 3 second rounders. Or even like, you know, a late first and a second. I mean, that has to be our game plan at this point. So again, he's got really nice finesse moves and power moves. Good pursuit. Nice speed. And this guy's could be really, really good. He's 6'7". I like all the guys we've scouted so far. Yeah, good call, Delonte. There's a bit of a delay with the chat, but so again, try to think ahead. If you have something you definitely want me to take a look at, because there's a little bit of a delay here. But yeah, we definitely looked at that end. I think next we'll look at the Cedric Ellis, the defensive tackle. Oh, it's almost draft time. That 25 days is misleading. This part goes pretty quick once we get through. All it is this, just dismissing free agents and then going through the different, what's it called, workouts. So we can start tearing through these. It's a trade negotiation, Dave P. Lossman, but not interested. Okay, next workout, defensive tackle time.
Coach, who would you like some more information on?
Cedric Ellis, no weaknesses again. Let's see how this holds up. Man, just think how awesome Madden would be if it had this mode. Or even like if this game had like multiplayer. Just how awesome that would be. Potential. Ooh, 84. That's actually not too good. Interesting. One of the goals that we're going to get here, because I went ahead earlier just to kind of see how many of these we had, just to know if I wanted to stream with this or not. One of the goals we're going to get before the draft is don't draft a bust, and they consider a bust anybody with potential less than 85. Or like don't draft a bust in like the first 2 rounds or something like that. And so he would technically qualify as a bust. So we'd have to avoid Cedric Ellis because he's going to go in the first round. But dang, all right, well, good thing we looked at him. So that tells us a few things about that whole like no weaknesses, is that it doesn't always mean they're like a stud player. All these players going off the board. Mutual workout number 5.
Coach, who would you like the scouts to bring in?
I want to look at Tavares Gooden, but there's other needs I want to look at first. I want to look at Kenny Phillips. Alright, so Kenny Phillips. It's just sort of safety I really would like to add to the mix here with that big playability. He's got potential 90, not bad. Really great zone coverage, which is what I mostly will use with my safeties there. So he's got good speed. Darren Sharper, I mean, he's such a good pro. All right, so we either have 2 or 3 more of these.
Who would you like to bring in for an individual workout?
And I think the guys that we are still interested in looking at, I know Jamal Charles, maybe a left tackle, maybe that middle linebacker. Let's look at Jamal Charles, though, because we are kind of thin at running back, and I don't want to just bank on him being something he's not. All right, let's see what Jamal Charles came back with there. And again, these running backs are probably going to be better than Jamal Charles. It's just more about like getting the most value out of your draft picks. And I just feel like Jamal Charles isn't a huge step down for where we could potentially get him. And he's got 92 potential. So again, pretty darn solid. Big playability, again, something I really like. Again, this game, you don't play it, right? You just coach it. So having players with big playability, I mean, that kind of makes them, maybe a step above the other guys that they're competing against. So ball security, a bit of an issue there. We'll have to see how that goes with him. But yeah, so far everything looks good. Except for Cedric Ellis, the guy we'll probably avoid there. So we either have 1 or 2 more. Who's it going to be? I think we were talking about left tackle, middle linebacker. Who else? I would look at that quarterback from Kentucky, but again, it's just...
Coach, who would you like the scouts to bring in?
There's already a quarterback I'm trying to get. I feel like it's just going to be a little bit different. Maybe scout D... Oh, yeah, Deshaun Jackson. Yeah. So, yeah, Deshaun Jackson could be in the mix. A lot of these guys that we like kind of down in that 80s range. So he's an 8. I'm just looking at like where we can get our most value. 80 and it could be very realistically in the mix for a pick. The left tackle, I don't know. I mean, we're okay for right now. I mean, we already have a project at left tackle, so yeah, I kind of agree. I'd rather probably look at I don't know, what if we don't trade down, or what if we only trade down a few spots? Like, what would we honestly do? So, I mean, again, Chris Williams could definitely be a guy we would take a look at. One of his pluses is potential. So, again, maybe we don't need to waste the scouting on him because we kind of expect that to be a pretty good score. Deshaun Jackson, Tavares Gooden, again, I liked him. But I agree. I mean, it's not anywhere near as big of a need. So to me, it's either like left tackle. Maybe these are our last 2 if we have to. I just don't remember if we do. It'd either be Chris Williams and Deshaun Jackson. But I will respect Waffle's request here and go with Deshaun Jackson, who we really liked. Oh, and we do have one. Cool. So we'll do that left tackle unless one of you guys think like that middle linebacker we should definitely take a look at. But it'd be nice to have a first round contingency plan in case we can't trade down or something. Where am I going? Wide receiver. 83. Oh, potential at 96. Oh my gosh. So, dang, between him and Donnie Avery, 96. Both those guys look so good. But that's nice. I guess we definitely don't have to be too aggressive then, because really, I mean, either of these guys would turn out to be pretty darn good players. Wow. All right, well, last one. Pretty sure this is the last one.
Who would you like to bring in for an individual workout?
And I really think it needs to be Chris Williams. Just a guy we looked at. Again, if we end up only trading down to like pick 8 or 10 or something, I mean, what would we do with it? Would we take a receiver when one might be available in the second round? Because, like, for instance, if we get an extra second round and we only move down to like pick 10 or something, we could grab Chris Williams and one of those receivers. So But again, I would love to be getting like a second and third because I'd like to try and get Jamal Charles even. But again, I think we're okay at running back, at least for a little bit here. So, yeah, I mean, Delonte, I get that. If we had like 20 of these things, I would look for more sleepers in the 6th or 4th, but it's like, it's kind of needle in a haystack, number one. And number two, to me, it's like you're almost kind of better to scout around one particular pick. Like if you used all 8 of these around pick 4. So like if you looked at basically like the 3rd through, you know, whatever, 11th best player, you now know, like you have that whole range scouted. You're going to make the most educational guess or educational pick you can make, as opposed to like just, well, let's go some other rounds. Oh, we found a bunch of duds. It's kind of like buying packs, right? And like MUT or something like that. It's like, yeah, you might hit it, but really you're just going to open up a bunch of like 61 overall dudes, right? You're much better just to kind of go out and just kind of pick your spot in particular. So that's what makes sense to me, at least. So, but okay. So yeah, I'm going to look at Chris Williams. I like Chris Williams.
I'm Adam Schefter, and this is another draft update. Individual workouts are wrapping up, and teams are starting to get a good idea of what their draft boards look like. Some of the teams in the top 5 brought in Arkansas's running back this week just to make sure he was everything they expected. Don't worry, he was. I'm told Oregon's quarterback was a popular player to work out too. Teams really wanted to find out if he's the real deal or just a flash in the pan. Well, that's all. The next time you see me, it'll be draft day.
So again, there's kind of the update. 1 second here. Okay, so let's look and see what Chris Williams came back as. Potential 89. Again, not bad. Would I pick him 4th or even in a top 10? No. Would I pick him over one of those receivers? Probably not. Because those receivers are going to end up being better, and I think they're at a more impactful position, especially when you have such a young quarterback. So, but I'm glad we looked at him. All right, well, at this point, the only other thing that they're going to show us is like the it's just going to be a bunch of random free agents, and it's just going to be like they show you like the NFL schedule, which I mean, who cares? So let's try to just jump ahead here. Where is it? Sim 2, the draft. Let's save it though, just in case something blows up. But this is it. We're ready for the draft. It's official. I think we have a pretty good plan. What do you guys think about staying put at 4 or trading back? I mean, those are probably our 2 options. I don't think we're looking to trade up. We don't have much to work with. We're not going to miss anything. This is back when the draft used to be on a Saturday. There we are. We're here. Oh, NFL draft time. Let's actually create a new save. We haven't created a backup yet. That could be a little scary, right? Just call it backup. There we go. Delonte says trade back. Daniel likes trading down. Yeah, I do too. I mean, this is why I think some teams even had trouble trading down this year in real life, is that, I mean, a lot of teams are catching on that like you're almost always better you're going to get better value by trading down. You know, trading up maybe for a franchise quarterback, that sort of thing. I mean, maybe it's worth that price. But like trading up for something we would need, I mean, we're already at 4. It's really unnecessary. Yeah, here it is. NFL Draft. Let's jump in. We even backed up the file. So it says, welcome to the NFL Draft. The future of the franchise is in your hands. Should be a comma, coach. But that's okay. So let's start the draft. So what's neat is, so you'll see, let's just take a look at the screen here because there's a lot to look at that you probably have never seen before. But look how cool this is, right? So first off, it shows you the draft class score for the different positions. So it's saying like, hey, this is a pretty good defensive tackle draft. It's pretty good for cornerbacks. It's decent for linebackers, poor safety draft. So first off, that scrolling, it gives you the team info for the Miami Dolphins, who you can see in the top right is the first pick. It's kind of weird. It goes like right to left for the picks, but other than that, it's a really, really nice setup on the screen. 10 minutes, I don't know if that's what it was back then. I forget. They get 15 now in the first round. And I've actually turned a couple of these little clipboard things off. Like it actually lets you predict the pick. And like you can impress your owner and like get little extra. I mean, you barely get like any approval, but like every single pick in the draft, you can go through and like make a prediction of who it's going to be. But it gets kind of tedious because it pops up every time. So I've turned that off. But you can see behind the settings menu there, like where this is at, you can see that it shows like key losses. So it'll show like what the team is like trying to replace maybe. But it shows you other things too. And as they draft, it'll show like their biggest needs, and it kind of like flips through. So as a team's on the clock, we can take our time and we can look and see and kind of enjoy like all the little details that they give us here. I believe we can actually back out and look at the mock, but I know with this one, they were mocking Miami to take left tackle Jake Long, who's exactly who they took in real life. Oh, you know who we never scouted was Vernon Gholston. Whoops. He was a guy we were considering. If we were to stay at 4, we might take him. Whoops, totally forgot about that. That's going to be a very, very tough call now if we're on the clock and he's sitting there still. But again, it gives you the option there that you can trade up for the pick. When it comes to our time, we can click trade back, and we'll be giving offers and things like that. So we'll have some time to look, but again, it'll go quick. So anyway, let's just unpause here and see what happens. So Miami with the first pick, and again, we can actually look at the mock draft. I mean, how nice is you can see all of this stuff during the draft. Madden would like freak out if you tried to do this. You can only see like a very, very small percentage, but they're saying Golston's going to go 2nd overall. I kind of hope that happens so that I don't have to sweat it. But like it shows you last year's draft picks that they made. Head coach approval, they went 1-15 last year. There's just all this cool information. Jalen Rose is their linebacker coach. The year the team was founded. Team needs tight end. You can see the Dolphins just picking a tight end. Linebacker, maybe, yeah, I mean, maybe one of those tackles, yeah, it definitely might be Jake Long. Best available, they're saying Chris Long, McFadden, Jake Long. Chris Long, is it a sin to pass on Howie Long's son when he's there at number 4, if he's there, as the best player in the draft? But he's a power defensive end. Like, I feel like you can find those later. So they picked Ted Ginn, number 9 overall. I remember everyone freaked out.
This kid out of Michigan has looked like an NFL lineman since his sophomore season. He's got great playing experience, both on the left and the right side, but I think he'll be just fine playing left tackle in the NFL. Scouts love his height and his massive wingspan. He also has long arms and big hands. He shows elite awareness in pass protection, and he does a great job of picking up both blitzes and stunts. He has tremendous intangibles, and he's known as a leader on and off the field. The only concern I have with him is the injuries. He did miss some time with a foot injury in 2005, but since then, he's been on track, and I think he's going to be a superstar at the next level.
High praise. Looks like a good pick for them. So what I was saying really quick is it showed that Ted Ginn Jr. was their pick last year, and I remember people freaking out during that draft when they didn't pick Brady Quinn. They thought it was like the end of the world or whatever. I think it was Brady Quinn. It was some quarterback that ended up being terrible, and everyone. I mean, Ted Ginn turned out to be a much better pro. Not that he was like a legendary Dolphin or anything. Probably still a stretch at pick number 9, but I mean, he had a good career. He's still playing, isn't he? Isn't Ted Ginn still play? I mean, that's crazy. So anyway, so they picked Ted Ginn. Now as we look at the screen here, so you can see the Rams' top needs. There are some good linebackers for sure. They need a free safety. So again, Golston, Keith Rivers was one of those guys. Gerard Mayo could be a guy they look at here. They were mocked the Vernon Golston, as we just saw. So this is the old St. Louis Rams, of course. Yeah, and like they have this code, like, and you know, Madden still owns this game. Okay, good. It was Golston. I don't have to sweat not scouting him. Like, damn, just work it in. So I think so far, isn't that who they picked in real life too? So the Falcons, let's see what their top needs are. Will they go Matt Ryan here? Here's Golston, by the way. 2nd overall, Ohio State. We might want to move him to end because I think the game will just kind of like try to use him in a 4-3 linebacker spot, and he's terrible coverage. And yeah, right, Delonte? It's pretty cool. I mean, just think, even if this game was just multiplayer, even if you couldn't play and you could just coach, like this would be so fun. It'd be really, really cool. And we won't wait for every single pick here. It's just, again, kind of the first round or so, maybe the first half of the first round. So McFadden, best available. I have no idea if they need a running back. I said they needed, what, outside linebacker? Or no, that was St. Louis. We haven't seen Atlanta's needs yet, have we? I don't know what that little click noise is, but that's not me. I'm not even touching the controller. Oh, I wonder if it's just like the AI, like, oh wow, they picked McFadden.
This back is the most talented player in this year's class, and he will be the Rookie of the Year next year, barring injury. I know NFL fans are excited about Adrian Peterson's rookie year, but this kid might be even better than Peterson. He has a bigger burst in the open field, and he's impossible to slow down once he gets going. On top of all that, he can throw the ball too. Arkansas would line up in the Wild Hog formation this year, and he'd run or pass the ball. His ability to catch, run, return, and play some quarterback on trick plays makes him the highest rated player in this class and a great pick here.
He's only 20. Dang. Just crazy. I'm gonna pause this real quick and just get my phone charger. Just give me 1 second. So they're suggesting Matt Ryan, and like we'll have an option to either like make our owner happy or whatever and get some bonus points, or say no and piss him off. We're gonna be saying no, but bear with me here. I'm gonna just go get my charger. All right, well, it's time to look at some deals. I'm not even going to... Well, I think we actually have to decline this first.
This is my top pick here.
I mean, he is... If we needed a quarterback, sure, but we just don't. Sorry.
All right, we've got teams interested in our pick.
He's pissed. We are going to trade down. We have 9 minutes. So, I mean, this is real time, so... So let's just pause and kind of look at what's up on the screen. So Dallas is offering us 2 firsts and a second. That's pretty good. I really do want to get a third somewhere though. Like I almost wish they would do like a first this year, a first next year, and then a second and third this year. Let's see if anything is like that. So here's a first, second, third. But like, why would we take that over? I mean, Dallas's offer is really good. What do you guys think, by the way, of asking for more? Should we, I mean, I have no problem with it, I guess, right? Let's just see. We get the 4th pick. Come on. So they're okay with that offer. Let's just see. Increase your offer. So they've increased theirs. Seattle, 25th. A first next year. That's pretty close, but damn, I wish they threw in a 3rd. Increase your offer. Okay, San Francisco. That one's not bad. A first and 2 seconds. 13th overall, a 3rd, but then a 2nd next year. So we don't have a 2nd. Man, these are pretty good offers. I think, did we already ask these guys? Okay, yeah, there. Here's Herm Edwards. Whoa, just to move back 1 pick. Huh, I wonder if we do this. Grab the 5th and then just trade the 5th next. That's a thought, right? Jaguars. That's a first for next year, but again, still not really what I'm looking for. Colts, a 2nd, and then a 1st and 2nd next year. That's not going to do it. So these are these all 5-star offers? You can see they have like a star rating. They're all really good. I'm definitely going to say no to this one, because I still want 3 top picks this year. We need them. This is 25th. See, that's only 1 pick this year. That's only 1 pick this year. That's only 2 picks. That's only 2 picks. That one's 3 picks. It's one of these 2, right? Oh shit, what the heck? Hold on. I didn't realize I forgot that there was an actual timer on the trade. So we're just cheating for a quick moment because I want to give you guys a chance to give feedback. But I would think it's one of these 2 offers, right? Now do we have a 5th round pick? Do you guys remember? We have the number 4 overall, then we have a 4th, and then it was so we don't even have a 5th, so that would give us the 5th. Yeah, Dante, I agree. And then, hey, TJ, yeah, we were talking, there's some players I think a lot of the guys we're looking at are going to be available in the late 1st, early 2nd. But I agree. I think we take that Kansas City offer, and then we can still talk to Dallas. So let's do it. Oh my gosh. Hey, not bad. Just picked up a 5th. Let's look at our picks here now. Hey, all right, nice. So we can still use these. So like as we get into these later rounds, we can use those extra 6th and 7th to say, oh my gosh, we need to move up 6 spots or something, and really get the guy we want. So that is a good plan. Who will Kansas City take?
The Virginia defensive end has decent bulk and possesses good strength and first step quickness. I've been impressed at how advanced he is for his age, as he displays a great rip and swim move, and he also has outstanding recognition skills. This team is getting a smart, instinctive kid who plays with an unbelievably high motor and has all the intangibles that you want. If there's one knock on him, it's going to be the speed. He doesn't have the elite burst as an outside edge rusher, so he won't blow by any offensive tackles in the NFL. But overall, he's a great prospect that could be in the Pro Bowl for years to come.
I think didn't the Bears in real life pick him? I think the Bears did, but how interesting. We trade down with the division rival, and then they take a Raiders Hall of Famer's son. I mean, there's an interesting storyline. So here's a bummer. We have to piss off our owner again, I think, by saying no to Matt Ryan.
Of the guys out there, I think he's our best option.
I mean, he probably is, but we just don't need him.
They'd like to trade for our pick.
All right, here we go again. So this would be moving back to and that's a terrible offer. No thanks to there. They've upped their offer. They've increased their, it's pretty much like, come on, if you want a top 5 pick, make it worth our while. I do think it'd be corny to kind of ask for another time. Okay, so that's each team. So starting from the bottom, these have a little bit less than 5-star. We got to go quick though, huh? So the 29th, let's just pause and take a look here. So we can look at Denver's first. 12th overall and a 3rd. Again, that doesn't give us the 2nd we want though. I still want to make 3 picks. I want to have at least I want 3 picks by the end of the 3rd round. And right now we still only have this 1. So that's not going to cut it. Baltimore's is the 8th and a 7th round pick. That's terrible. The Colts is a 2nd and then 2 picks next year. Also terrible. The 29th, oh, here we go. San Francisco's 29th, 2nd, and a 3rd. That's a long way to drop though, right? Here's the 13th, a 3rd. And I don't want to get into like a cheese fest where we just keep trading back and back and back, because really we could probably do this and we'd easily get a 2nd for moving back again. So here are my thoughts. If we do the Carolina one, it probably sets us up to grab one of those receivers just in case someone starts taking receivers early. We could probably still get one. Obviously, we could still get plenty of other players there too. It gives us our 3rd, and it gives us an extra 7th. And we would now have 2 6th and 3 7th round picks that we could use potentially to move up in the 2nd. But I mean, no one's going to trade a 2nd for like 3 6th round picks or 3 7th round picks. San Francisco would give us what we want right now, but those all look like late picks. I mean, aren't they? I mean, 29th super late. 39th actually is pretty early in the 2nd. And 75th is about the middle-ish, right? Kind of early, maybe like the 10th or 12th pick. So the 2nd and 3rd are good. It's just the 29th is kind of late. But again, we could maybe use the 29th plus some of those extra picks to jump up if we need to. And I just don't know if there's going to be a player that we want at the 13th pick. Like, I'm kind of leaning towards San Francisco. What do you guys think? TJ, he's going to blow a lead in the future. You're right. So Daniel likes San Francisco. And again, we can still trade up from the San Francisco spot. But it gives us the 2nd and 3rd we want. Delante's torn. Hey, let's see if one of them will increase it. Only those two teams. They've upped their offer. Oh, just from a 7th to a 6th. Yippee. We think we'll stand pat. Oh, thanks, Daniel. You read my mind. Look at that. In between Carolina and San Francisco. Yeah, exactly. Those are the ones that we're debating. I like TJ's strategy. We can completely avoid a disaster of a draft pick by trading way, way, way back with the Raiders here. I don't think Darius Hayward-Bay's in this draft, though. That's pretty good. Well, we have 2 votes for San Francisco, so, and Delonte is a half vote. So, I mean, I think that's what we do. And then if we start seeing around pick 13 stuff going crazy, but I mean, this is what we wanted. This is exactly what we were looking for, and we still have draft capital to work with. You know, one last thing we could try. Request a specific package. So, like, could we be like, hey, you give us your 13th and a 2nd and 3rd, and it's yours, right? I mean, let's see. That is quite the ask. And I'm just pausing here to save some time. So 13th with a 4, 13th. Running out of time. 13th. Are these offers getting worse as we go? Oh no, I should be at the other side. Ah. Okay, they're done. Whew, dang, we're cutting these close. Okay, well, it's gonna be a while now. But that was cool. We so I actually kind of like that we kept bartering because they just were like, peace out, right? That's a pretty cool thing. So it's a risk reward, especially if we were running out of time. Because I don't know, like we would have still 8 minutes to make our pick, I guess. But this would be a whole different conversation if we didn't back out of that in time. Ooh, so they went with the one of the defensive ends we were looking at, just not really closely enough. But Florida's Derek Harvey, very, very fast defensive end, 6'4", 271, only 21. We priced out earlier, McFadden was only 20. So again, some really nice young players here going in the top 5. Well, it's going to be a while. But we can start moving here. So the Jets are up next. Again, I think we already have an idea of what we're kind of looking at. And we're not pressed to do any one thing, even if Donnie Avery gets picked, who I think is a guy we're looking at closely. There's still Deshaun Jackson. There's quite a few guys that we have going here. I didn't organize a draft board because it doesn't actually work very well. I've noticed it kind of gets all scrambled. But again, there are a ton of dudes that we still like here. I mean, there's Calais Campbell. We liked Chris Williams. There's just tons and tons of players left. And so, we still have 2 quarterbacks out there that are going to get picked. Oh, we have a pick. Matt Ryan just went to the Jets. So, good pick for them, I would think. Patriots now up. Let's see who they pick.
USC's linebacking core will take a huge hit now that this senior's gone. He entered the draft as my highest-rated linebacker, and while it seems like he's been a little bit overlooked, NFL scouts know exactly how good he can be at the next level. He's a little bit undersized, but he makes up for it with great speed and excellent hand usage. He gets off of blocks, and he flies all over the field. You have to love this guy's motor when you watch him on film. I mean, I've never seen this kid give up on a play, ever. I may be going out on a limb here, but I think he has the potential to be just as good as Derek Brooks 3 or 4 years down the road.
So it looks like a pretty good pick for the Patriots there. So Baltimore is now up. Real life, they took Joe Flacco. I can't remember if they took Joe Flacco. I feel like they traded back. Or did they have 2 firsts maybe? So there goes one of the corners. Again, there's some really good corners in this draft, but it's just not a position that we needed at all. Again, if one of these guys fall to our second round pick and he's sitting there at 93, again, for a rookie rating, right, there's kind of scaled. But yeah, I mean, I'll still grab one, but he was actually the one I liked the most. Leotis McKelvin looked like a really good player. So that brings up the Bengals, pick number 9.
Fans in Baton Rouge are going to be sad to see this defensive tackle go, as he has been a dominant force for LSU the past few seasons. The biggest positive with this kid is his ability to penetrate the line of scrimmage. He fires off the snap, he gets in the backfield, and he causes disruption at all times. He also has a tremendous motor, and his instincts are elite for a rookie tackle. If there's one thing to be concerned, though, watch out for his knee. He sprained it on a questionable play versus Auburn, and he has had to wear a brace ever since. He looked a lot stronger during the bowl game. As long as this knee doesn't come back to haunt him, I think that he's going to be a Pro Bowl player in the NFL.
Isn't it crazy just how much better the presentation is? I mean, you think of the stupid stuff Madden has with like their little news, like the stupid Twitter stuff everywhere. It just looks like trash. I mean, this is just so good. I mean, if they just put this into an online league, I would just run a sim league with it. It'd just be so cool. So let's see who the Saints go with. They take that one defensive tackle we really liked, Cedric Ellis here. Maybe they didn't scout him completely because he doesn't have the best potential. I still think he'll be a good player. So again, both the defensive tackles just went quick, right? So that's something to keep in mind when we start seeing some positions we want. We start seeing a run on receivers. You know, there's 2 guys we like kind of towards the top. You know, again, if we look at the draft board here, the Bills picking, you know, one of the guys we like is in that top 3, Donnie Avery. Now we have a little bit of time for Deshaun Jackson. He's only the 6th, 4, 5, 6th or so. Yeah. As far as the left tackle, he's in the top 2 we're looking at. Our ends, 1, 2, he's 3rd left. You know, for an end, it would be a big reach, I think, to take him now. We're really looking at linebackers here. We also like Kenny Phillips. He's the top strong safety, but again, probably a little too early to be grabbing him just yet. All right, let's see who the Bills go with.
Coach, they're taking offers for their draft spot.
I'm not really interested, though. I mean, unless they just want like my trash late picks or something, but I can't imagine they'd want to do that. I mean, I'll send you the 29th. Goodness, there's just so many of these to look at. 29, I mean, I don't want to trade any early pick. Is there anything with late? There's a 4th. This is probably a waste of time, huh? Well, here's some late ones. 7th. And then these all have like a 1st next year. I'm just backing out. We're okay. Are my Lions trading up, though? Ooh, Denver moved up. So Dallas, we somehow missed this pick, but Brandon Albert, probably the top interior lineman, went to Dallas. Of course, Dallas always has what seems to be a good offensive line. 11th pick. So Denver is the team that moved up. Let's see who they go with. They take Ryan Clady. So now our tackle that we like is the best available left tackle. But again, it's not something I'm looking to, you know, I don't need to trade up for it. I think we're okay. We're on pick 13. We have another 16 picks until we go. There's Jeff Oda. Really, really nice right tackle. That's who actually he went to in real life, if I recall. So really, really nice right tackle. Just wasn't a need for us. Chicago Bears. And then my Lions. So the Bears get a really nice linebacker to replace. They let a couple linebackers go. They let, I think, Roosevelt Colvin leave, and they let Lance Briggs walk too, I think. So there's a replacement there. That's actually a really good pick for them. Gerard Mayo, really nice player. definitely the best left outside linebacker available. He goes 14th overall. All right, Lions, let's mess it up. Probably going to take Donnie Avery, right? Ooh, they take a corner. So they get Dominic Cromartie, cornerback for the Lions. This upcoming year would have been the year they went 0-16. And in this draft, they actually took Goster Cherilus first, right tackle. And then went 0-16. So it looks like they're already doing better. Picking up a corner there. Arizona, I have no idea what they want, but let's see what they take. Another corner. So these corner picks are good for us, even though they're good corners. Mike Jenkins, another nice corner out of USF. But it's just not a position we're even really considering. So, and we're already past that. What was it, the 13th pick? We're already past that. And again, there's been no pressing need. So I really think we made the right choice with the San Francisco trade. So there goes the left tackle we liked. But again, that's okay. I'm not heartbroken. Chris Williams looks like a nice player. I think we're going to need to protect Jamarcus Russell, but we have that protection right now with Flozell Adams. And I still think getting him some weapons to help him will be just as important. We didn't have a left tackle. There is definitely an argument to be made. We have a very strong defense, but I have no problem, again, continuing to build on that strong defense. So this is in North Carolina, yeah. Kentwan Balmer, defensive tackle, goes to the Texans, the 18th pick. Getting closer. Getting closer. Guys, who is it going to be? Like, who would you pick if all of these guys we're looking at's available? What would you do? Because I'm going to need those answers soon with this delay going on. But what are you doing here when that pick comes up? I'll keep advancing picks there while you guys probably hear that message. Oops. So Antoine Cason out of Arizona. It seems like the Eagles are always picking just strong corners, right? They always have such a good defensive backfield. So that continues here. Nice pick by them. Well, we're to pick 20. We're getting closer. Let's see who the Bucks go with. Let's see what's out there, right? What kind of ratings are we looking at? So we're looking at some guys who are like high 80s, right? Like 87s. We're starting to get there, but again, there's still a ton of guys. 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, there's at least 5 of these guys. Now, 2 of them are running backs. But we still have Cherilus. You still have Talib. Dustin Keller could go in the first. You still got Joe Flacco, Felix Jones, another tight end, and John Carlson. So, I mean, guys, there's a really good chance like these top guys we're looking at are going to be there, like Donnie Avery. The question is, do we go Donnie Avery? Would we go Donnie Avery in the first or pick something else and get Deshaun Jackson in the second? Because it's only 10 picks later, right? That's really interesting. Like, would we go best available player? So Tampa picks Talib. Great corner. See how he turns out in this game. Washington now on the clock. Delonte's Washington football team here. Yeah, right. AI trades during the draft. Can you imagine that? This game's made in 2008. Come on. Well, we're not trading up at this point. We know that. So let's see what Washington does. They want to
They'd like to trade down here. What do you think?
But I'd rather use trade capital later. So I'm okay. Seattle has moved up. And Seattle picks tight end. Dustin Keller out of Purdue. All right. Not bad. Dallas up again now. They already picked the best left guard by a mile in this draft. What do they do now? They pick left tackle out of USC, Sam Baker. So they're going heavy. Left guard, left tackle for Dallas. Pick number 23, the Steelers. Let's start watching now. Let's try to see on this screen. Well, let's look at the team's like needs, because if we do see like, oh, we're gonna have to make a move, this would kind of be the time. Maybe we're about 6 or 7 picks away. Let's see if we can get that to flash up on the screen, like what they're in need of, because I think it might help us. Yeah, they took Richard Mendenhall in real life. So there needs free safety, a guard, and a tackle. I could see them going right tackle here. There's definitely not a free safety available. Best available. A couple running backs. Goster Cherilus. All right, let's see who they go with. It is Goster Cherilus. So a lot of linemen taken so far. I'm glad we signed some free agent linemen, or else we'd be pretty disappointed. So Steelers get a right tackle. Titans, let's take a look at what their needs are. You can see the Raiders have appeared in the draft ticker at the top. We're getting close. What do the Titans need? You know, it would be a good pick for the Titans, and I forget what their roster even looks like, but with them having Vince Young in this game, like if they were to take, again, yeah, like a Chris Johnson, like just a complete speed back, or a Mendenhall, big power back, right? I mean, just kind of a combination like that. Again, tight end, that's not a bad pick at this point. John Carlson was out of Notre Dame, I think, would be a good pick. There is Lofton, the middle linebacker, who could also be a good pick for them. All right, let's see what it is. It is John Carlson. So they go with their top need, and really probably the last top tight end that was available as far as maybe first round talent. So helping out Vince Young there. Smart play. And it's Seattle again. I feel like Seattle's had like 3 first round picks. Look at this. Look at the fan poll, guys, in the middle of the screen. Was Keller a good pick? Yes or no? That is freaking awesome. Come on, Madden. Damn it. That's why I lose interest in like modern sport games today. It's just not worth the time. For the modes I like to play. And I'm in the minority. That's cool. I have nothing against MUT and stuff like that. I mean, a lot of people like that stuff. That's cool. But for the stuff I like to play, man, all right, these modes just don't get the love. So right end, okay, running back makes a lot of sense here. Right end was something, but Calais Campbell, though, it's still a while, right? Because he was a guy we really liked. Yeah, I'd be surprised if they passed on a. I mean, guys, there's a lot of guys here that we never really looked closely at, right? So, like, do we take a Chris Johnson? We need a running back. And I'd said, like, well, I'd rather, you guys had said, like, well, maybe we'll get Deshaun Jackson in the second round. I think Deshaun Jackson will definitely be there when we pick in the second round. So, like, would we grab Chris Johnson instead of, trying to land perfectly on the narrow runway that is Jamal Charles in the third? Because then that frees us up to take, say, like that middle linebacker we liked in the third. So again, Chris Johnson definitely comes into play here. We could satisfy an owner goal and pick Joe Flacco, but that seems silly. Felix Jones, again, another good running back. I just don't like taking running backs this early, but they are the best players left. I mean, 3 of them. I really wouldn't pick Mendenhall, but Johnson and Felix Jones I like. Still got Dwayne Brown, who's got a lot of upside. He's pretty undersized, though. He's not really going to fit what we're trying to do. His pass blocking is only a 59, so yeah, no thanks there. Lawrence Jackson, we talked about needing an end. Size-speed ratio, acceleration, stamina. Good finesse moves, but we don't know a whole lot about him. His speed's just okay. Jonathan Stewart, and then we start getting, really, I don't know, guys. It's going to be tough. Let's see who Seattle picked. They picked Richard Mendenhall. So, kind of saw that one coming again. It's a good pro for a little while, right? Steelers grabbed him, real life. It's just, man, running back's shelf life's very, very, very limited. They can be very productive in the beginning. And then that's it, right? So, Get your use out of them while you can. Let's look at the Jaguar needs here. We are just 3 picks away. So I really think we played this draft quite well. Because, I mean, we're just going to take whatever falls into our lap, I think, at this point. The problem is I just don't know what it's going to be. Maybe Kenny Phillips even. He's the top safety in this draft. So there goes Merling. So Calais Campbell is getting closer to the top of that end list. So Jaguars take Clemson defensive end. The Chargers need a strong safety. Uh-oh. Middle linebacker and defensive tackle. Okay. This might be the first time I consider, do we move up a couple spots? And the reason being is I really like Kenny Phillips. Now, where does Kenny Phillips fall in kind of the grand scheme of things? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12. He's, well, and it's really out of order, right? So he's definitely kind of a top 10 talent. You know, how much do we like him is the question. Is he a big enough need that we need to move up? His potential is a 90. Again, it's not bad. But dang it, I'm pretty sure he's going to go here. He's driven. Oh, I really like this guy. Let's see what they're offering. Oh, but you know what? They're not trying to trade down. Well, let's just see what it says. Okay, so just pausing. I've never actually opened this menu, so we're waiting for your offer. Okay, so here are some packages they're interested in. At the very least, it'd be, I mean, that would be a sick trade, but they're not going to say that. Our 2nd and 4th. We actually, I want the 4th, though. I have to keep my 4th because that's where we're trying to get Josh Jackson. So I can't trade that. And I would much rather trade the 29th. So, yeah, I guess I'll offer you that. This offer is okay. We'd like you to match this offer. So we offered them the 29th, move up 2 spots in a 7th. They're saying, sure, but throw in the 4th. No. I cannot throw in the 4th. So what if we come back and just say, how about the 29th and a 6th? And I'll give them, damn it, the best 6th we have. I don't really care. So the 29th and a 6th. But I want it to be this year. So sure, how about this one? I don't know if that's the right one, but we're running out of time. Now, if we do this, we'd be picking Kenny Phillips, right? Which I'm fine with. I'm going to pause it, though, and just kind of see what sort of feedback we have. Delonte's saying don't trade up. Hey, what's up, Badger? Yeah, Calais can't, I mean, Delonte, you're right. That is a good plan, too, is we go with, like, Donnie Avery here and then take Calais Campbell in the 2nd. But I almost think we'd have to do that in reverse order, even though Calais Campbell might be a bit of a reach here. Well, I don't know, because what if both receivers we like go, right? So, yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe we would just take those guys. Because to me, it's kind of like at this pick, what I'm kind of thinking is it's either Kenny Phillips, the strong safety, who I just love him. To me, he looks like he could be just a center field ball hawk guy, kind of like an Ed Reed. He just looks really, really special. And trading up 2 spots, especially if it only costs us like a 6th round pick or something. I mean, big deal. The other option would probably be Donnie Avery, but I guess the question is we need to consider now is, do we like Donnie Avery or Deshaun Jackson better? They both look really good. And, or do we want, because really, here's what's probably going to happen, right? We're going to probably get one of the receivers. And it pretty much comes down to, do we get Calais Campbell or do we get Kenny Phillips? And it's really close, guys. Could see this going either way. And I'd almost say we probably need Campbell more. What do they want? They still want a 4th for next year. what's the best I can offer them? I can't go that high. I don't even want to throw in a 5th. There's really not a whole lot I want to offer for this. So I'm kind of leaning towards what Delonte's saying of just backing out. Yeah, I'm just not seeing it, guys. But they're probably going to take Kenny Phillips, who I think is going to be a really, really good player. We did miss this pick, so Lawrence Jackson just went to the Browns. Oh, so what just happened? They ended up trading the pick. That's weird. So like when I initiated the trade, they ended up trading it to a different team. That was bizarre. All right, well, it's just the Bills now. But again, same question remains. Did we miss picks or something? I feel like we just... I don't know, because it's only moving up 2 picks, right? So we were talking to the Chargers. So yeah, they traded it to Cleveland. Interesting. Whew, well, who's it going to be, guys? No, let's see. Did it show what Buffalo needs yet? They took
Arkansas's second running back in this class isn't as dynamic as his teammate, but he's still a great NFL prospect. The thing that I love about this kid is his top-end speed, which allows him to run away from defenders. He's elusive in the open field, he has very good vision, and he does a great job of bouncing inside runs to the outside. While he had to share the spotlight at times with other backs, this kid has held his own when his number was called. Plus, his value goes beyond just the running back position. He can return kicks, and he does a very good job of catching the ball in the open field. I have a feeling these two backs could be reunited in Hawaii a couple years from now.
Oh, and the Pro Bowl used to be in Hawaii. So Felix Jones goes to Buffalo. We are up. We are going to be saying no to Joe Flacco. Man, they just really want us to...
This is my top pick here.
I don't care. Okay.
They're looking to trade up.
I think we're ready to make some picks. So, again, just looking at the top here, and I'm just pausing it here so we can have a chance to chat, and there's a delay. But Chris Johnson is the best player available in this draft by a lot, really, if you think about kind of like exponential ratings. He's a 91 overall. We haven't really looked too closely at him. So again, you can see his things, you know, his pluses: speed, explosiveness, elusiveness. Those are really nice. He's undersized. Maybe durability is an issue, but it says durability is a 93. We don't get any characteristics. We didn't scout this guy a lot. His NFL comparison is not super promising. Again, he's super athletic, great speed and everything. The thing with running backs, though, is again, you know, just like Michael Bennett, you pick them and they play a few years and then they're hurt and they're done. Right, so it's a lot of draft capital to use, even though he's the best available player. I'm not saying no, but gosh, I still would rather pick a guy like Jamal Charles in the 3rd. Now, keeping in mind that he's probably not the Jamal Charles of real life. But again, Jamal Charles, right? Short shelf life. Really productive back, though. And I'll be okay with that, especially with the 3rd-round pick. Like, dude, give me 3, 4, like, really good years. Get us in the playoffs, and then you're hurt and done. Thank you. Appreciate the effort. But, like, to sink a 1st-round pick into that, just from a philosophical standpoint, isn't really the best setup, right? So, I don't know. I'm still not really sold. Joe Flacco, I mean, no. Dwayne Brown, he's got a nice upside, but again, he's super undersized. He's not really what we're looking for in linemen. We didn't like Jordy Nelson. So, I mean, we're moving on to Donnie Avery at this point. Donnie Avery or Kenny Phillips, and Kenny Phillips is rated better. Where's Calais Campbell, by the way? Just so we kind of see. Oh, there is a strong safety who's pretty good. See, now we're starting to get down. Now, these aren't completely in the right order. So again, Deshaun Jackson, Can definitely be later. So can Campbell. Guys, to me, it's a pretty simple decision. It's Kenny Phillips or it's Donnie Avery. Offense versus defense. Both guys are potential playmakers. They both have that big play ability. So again, Donnie Avery, NFL comparison, Steve Smith. Oof, I mean, how awesome, right? Potential 96. But look at his negatives. Hands, route running, catching in traffic. But with his biggest negative being hands, he still has an 81 catch. So that to me just says, like, this guy's probably just really damn good. 100 speed, 99 acceleration. Like, what the hell? That is crazy. He's a bit of a kind of a loose cannon a little bit with his personality, but he's, again, kind of a diva receiver. He's got perfect health, 99 durability. Pretty good learning score, so he'll be able to learn our playbook. Decent intangibles. He's undersized a little bit, but again, not a big deal. That kind of speed. So again, very, very promising player. There's also Kenny Phillips. Athletic, big plays, got great instincts. Not as good of a potential, but he's got better learning. He's got better intangibles. Durability is a little bit less. And that's his biggest weakness too, is durability. Really, really good in zone coverage. He's got amazing awareness for a rookie. Very athletic again. He's driven, so that's kind of like, you know, how quickly can they get to their potential or something like that. It's definitely ties into potential. A little bit of a diva again, self-focused, materialistic, expressive, impulsive. Left leg, and look at his right arm though. Yikes. Guys, maybe that's the decision maker, huh? Durability issues. Guys, are we going to pick? Is Donnie Avery the pick? I'm pausing this to chat because I think that's my choice, but I am definitely curious. I am pretty sold on going Donnie Avery here, and then that frees us up to do a number of things in the second round. We don't have to worry about Deshaun Jackson, who again looks really good. But so just to kind of look at him too, is we did scout his potential, and I think it was the same. I think it was also 96. Yeah, he's 96. He does have good hands, but actually has worse hands than Donnie Avery, or so it says. A little undersized, but he's bigger than Donnie Avery, at least in height. Elusiveness 94, spin move 96, juke move 95. So he's super elusive. Where's Donnie Avery's like ratings like that? Same thing. I mean, oh wow, 99 elusiveness. My God. Juke move, spin move. Yeah, so they're both super good with that stuff. Deshaun Jackson's driven, so he actually probably has a little bit better potential, or it can at least fulfill the potential maybe easier. His intangibles and learning. 78 learning, 71 intangibles if I go back up. Pretty similar. Durability, pretty good. Whew, man, both those receivers I think are going to be pretty good. All right, pause them one last time. We have 5 minutes here. I don't think a receiver has been drafted. That's a good question. Let me go. Let's take a look here. We've got 5 minutes still. Draft results. I don't think one was picked, right? Look how great this is. Oh, I thought you could sort by position. Damn. But still, it's cool you can do it by round. So receiver. So yeah, we would have picked up extra picks and still had the top receiver, at least what we think. They actually say Jordy Nelson, but not really a fit for what we're looking to do. All right, guys. I mean, the only other consideration, again, would be like if we did like a Chris Johnson thing. But the Chris Johnson problem is that like we don't really have a plan for the third round pick outside of Jamal Charles. I mean, maybe that middle linebacker. But I guess what I'm saying is like we didn't have a receiver we saw there that we're like, oh yeah, he's the guy. Whereas I think with running back we can. And as I mentioned earlier, I just don't think it's wise to spend draft capital that high on a running back. So, all right, I don't see any big oppositions. We're going Donnie Avery. Are you sure you want to pick Donnie Avery 34? I'm pretty sure. I'm looking at the chat one last time. Even though there's a huge delay, and as soon as I pick him, I'll probably get like 6 people saying no. Alright, here's our guy. Donnie Avery. The newest Raider. There he is. Probably already holding out. Probably already has a drug addiction or something. Who knows, right? Just with the Raiders' luck. He's been kidnapped or something. Who knows? He's not even going to show up to camp, knowing our luck. But there he is, our first round pick, Donnie Avery. Woo! He looks pretty awesome. Pretty excited for this. Now, our next pick, we are on pick number 30. I believe it's just 9 more picks away, right? 39th is our next pick. So it's coming up again quick. Calais Campbell, Kenny Phillips. Those are kind of the 2 guys I'm thinking of. I would love if one of those 2 guys fell. I don't know. I don't think Kenny Phillips will. Calais Campbell, maybe. And maybe we could have gone Calais Campbell there. I just feel like that was still too early. I think he's probably going to be more of like a mid to late second round pick. We might even be reaching a little bit picking him, but we like his potential so much that I think we'll be comfortable doing that. All right, so Packers looking for a lineman, offense, defense, or a tight end. They go with Joe Flacco. They grab Joe Flacco. Aaron Rodgers already on their team as a young quarterback too, I believe. This is kind of like real life, right? Other than Aaron Rodgers isn't young. But that was an interesting pick. Let's see. Oops, Packers. So Aaron Rodgers, we don't know his potential because we haven't scouted him yet, but he's only 23. They also just signed Joey Harrington, and now they have Joe Flacco, who won't be there until he signs a contract, but that's interesting. Boy, Aaron Rodgers would hate this stream series. He would just hate it. So Green Bay grabs Joe Flacco. I'm sure Flacco's thrilled. All right. The St. Louis Rams. We have 2 picks left here in the first round. I could see them picking our Kenny Phillips here, though. Was Vernon Gholston a good pick? Yes. Looks like most people in this fake fan pool agree. Ooh, they went with a corner. Brandon Flowers goes to the Rams. That brings up the Dolphins. The last pick. They had the first pick in the first round, and now they have the last pick in the first round. Was Jake Long a good pick? Boy, look at that for a first overall pick. That's not a very popular selection. Chris Johnson still on the board. Very running back heavy draft. I could see them taking that middle linebacker out of Oklahoma here. I forget his name now. Lofton, I think was his name. All right, well, let's see.
The Dolphins are trying to trade down.
Nah, I'm okay. I'll dismiss that. So Tampa Bay has traded up. Let's see what they're looking at. These fan polls, boy, these some tough critics. It's like every pick is like 50-50. I just want to see what their top needs are. No, that's it. So Chris Johnson, there he goes. Let's give this a quick save here. We've completed the round 1. Chris Johnson finishes off the first round. Tampa Bay drafts the speedy running back Chris Johnson. And we're only a few picks away from the Raiders' next pick, which will be the 2nd round. So, here's what we're going to do. Just like the real NFL draft, we are going to pause after round 1. And I'm going to give you all a chance to think real hard about what we want to do with the next couple rounds, which will probably be the next stream. If not, we'll finish the whole draft. But I'm glad we took our time to kind of discuss some strategy. We made 2 trades today. 2 first-round draft picks ended up moving all the way down from 4 to 5, and then 5 down to 29. Picked up a handful of extra picks, including a 2nd, 3rd. We also got a 5th in the first trade we made. So really, really good stuff. But guys, this is really cool. We had a handful of people in the stream today chatting. I appreciate the help with this. So let's resume this. I am thinking maybe even tomorrow. Like I said, I haven't really set a schedule with this setup here. So it just kind of depends where I find time. And again, with all the stuff going on, there has been a lot of time, unfortunately. But I think we had a really, really good approach. Daniel says we nailed it. Yeah, I think we did a really good job of positioning ourselves. We at the start of the stream, we looked at Donnie Avery as kind of one of our top guys, but knew there's no way we could pick him at 4. We even considered picking him at 4, right? I think, a critique of this game, I would say it's maybe a little too easy to trade down, and maybe I'm just a Lions fan who's still a little bit sour from last week and their inability. But it seems like if you want to make a trade, you can make a trade. And again, if they were ever to remake this game or convert it over to Madden or something like that, that'd be something I think I would leave them feedback for. But again, that's where it would just be really cool to have multiplayer, because you'd probably have a lot of people saying, hell no, I'm not doing that trade. So could be really, really, really cool with something like that. So, but let's resume this again next time. It is still daylight, and I want to go barbecue some sausage tonight. So I've got a good dinner plan here with the wife. So going to start getting on that, and then let's see. Yeah, I don't know when I'll stream next, but maybe tomorrow, probably in the next couple days, because again, just nothing going on. But subscribe to the YouTube channel, please. If you haven't, that will ping you, so that way you won't miss it. Or if you're watching it late, again, subscribe again. I should say subscribe as well. And again, thanks everybody. I'm getting a lot of good feedback on this one. It's been a lot of fun to do with everybody here. So thanks for watching. Again, check us out, simsportsgaming.com. Got lots of league openings, various different leagues, various different games. So again, I'll see you next time.